All right. Happy late Friday. What you got right there, Nat?
Let's make sure that we say we are apologize for being a little late.
Yes, I'm sorry. We are late today. It's been a crazy day. We've had meetings. We've had traffic issues. We've had someone might have got a DUI on the way here. I don't know. But we got the alcohol. But most importantly, we want to thank you guys for staying late with us. Usually we do this at 4 o'clock. We push it back to 5. Now it's 6. All good. Respect. We do this show for you. But if this is the first time joining us, welcome to the Soscast, episode 55, baby. Can you believe we've done 55, these double nickel, like MJ in the Garden? But anyway, in the Soscast, this is where finance meets romance. You already know. We talk dating, we talk relationships, we talk money, we talk all that stuff and how it's all basically intertwined. My name's Adam Sosnick. All my friends call me Sos. And basically, we have one goal. We want to see you men improve your status. Okay, what kind of status am I talking? It could be your financial status. It can be your sexual market value status. I want to see you win in life. Nat, what do we always say? I want to see you get paid, laid, and do it your way. Now, speaking of getting paid and laid, we have a very, very famous guest, celebrity guest in the house. If we had a sound thing, we'd have a round of applause for Miss Sara Jay.
Let's just do it now.
Should we do that?
Thank you. Online, let's go some photos.
Let's go. We got some fire emojis. It's all good. We appreciate the love. Just so you know, so we can take this. By the way, you've met Natalya. She's been very friendly, and everyone loves Natalya. It's like I might lose my job soon. Natalya might take my job because she's that much of a superstar. Just so you understand, we do a Thursday show. It's more of a roundtable discussion. We have guests. We had a great show yesterday, and the one complaint we heard is like, "Yo, bro, we want to ask questions. We want to get some dialogue. We've got things to say." I'm talking about you guys on the audience. So we said, listen, let's do a Friday show and let's dedicate it to you, the viewer, the valuetainment money audience, the valuetainers out there that have questions. We do this show for you. So if you're asking questions, whether it's on Instagram DM, whether it's on my Instagram or it's on Valuetainment, we're seeing your questions. We've written them all down. Nat's got all the questions, okay? Yes. Plus, we're going to be answering your questions in the super chat. And then the power of technology, we're going to see if it's going to work. We have a phone. This is how phones work. Sarah, I don't know if you know how phones work.
I've been told.
Okay. I mean, I've watched you a lot on my phone. I've never called you.
You can call me.
If you want to be one of the lucky few, I think we're going to do 1, maybe 2 phone calls into the show. Ask us questions. If you want relationship advice, if you want money advice, if you want life advice, we're going to be taking your calls. Before we start getting into everything, Sarah, can we pour you a cocktail?
Please.
What are you drinking?
Tequilas.
Tequila? Do you want a tequila? Guys,
day.
This is Friday. All right, put the kids away. Tell the wife, tell the husband, hey, I'm busy right now. I'm drinking with Sara Jay and Nat and Saz, and we're going to have a good Friday.
Yes.
Nat, let's do it. Let's pour some cocktails.
Let's
do this thing. Okay. So for those of you that are not somehow living under a rock, not familiar with Sara Jay, Hall of Fame porn star actress. I said, how do you want to be labeled? Adult film star, porn star? You're like, call me whatever you want.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Lay it on me. Well, don't tempt me, Sarah. Okay, you might get laid on. All right. Anyway,
Wouldn't
Sarah.
be the first time.
Sarah, for those in the audience that do not know you, go ahead. This is what we want to know. 3 things.
Yeah.
We want to know a little bit more about yourself. We want to know your relationship status, and we want to know how you're making money these days. Those are 3 things we'd love to hear from Sara Jay. Go ahead.
Well, if you don't know who I am an adult film star. I have a CBD company, and I have a film production company, Wideside Productions. I've been in the industry heading on 22 years.
Wow. Some guy said, I want to thank Sara Jay for basically helping black people for the last 20 years. He's dedicating. So I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah,
but
I like to help all people, you know?
Yeah, I'd love some of that. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about what I do. And my relationship status, I am divorced. I've been single for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So divorced, that was a decade plus
time
ago.
Mm-hmm.
So single.
Yeah, very single.
Looking to mingle? Want a man? Good being single?
No, I'm so good at being single. Like, I am a professional Professional
single lady. Well, with that being said, here's a cocktail.
Oh, thank you.
Not a lot of ice, but
It's okay.
Did you have?
Cheers.
Cheers, Sarah. Thank you for being on the show. Nat, thank you for the alcohol.
Thank you.
To our friends watching at home, cheers to you. Salute, l'chaim, and all the above, to health, wealth, and happiness. We salute you. Is it?
You can make a drink.
Oh, yes, you can. There you go, Nat. So, relationship status, single. Oh.
Yeah.
But you're happy that way.
I am. I'm not like committed to the single life, but I'm so good at it.
Okay. What makes you good at the single life?
I'm very good at like compartmentalizing things and just kind of like taking from people what I need. And maybe that sounds like bad, but I feel like it's, utilitarian.
Utilitarian.
Yeah.
That's a nice word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I usually I'll deflect and be like, well, why don't you break down utilitarian for people in the audience that don't know? Tell me. I don't know. What does that mean, utilitarian?
If I meet somebody that I would like to have in my circle of friends,
Your Rolodex,
my stable, if you will,
your bench,
my lineup,
yep, my lineup.
Right,
that's right.
I use them for what they're good for and put them in the lane that they put themselves. Yeah, so like I'm not really into like changing people or trying to build something with somebody. No, like if we vibe, we vibe, and if you fit into my situation, you fit into it.
Fit in. All right, so we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to answer our friends' questions about relationships out there, no doubt. Money. We talk money on this show. This is a money channel at the end of the day. People kind of crazy. They think we're nuts. We have porn stars. We've got actresses. We've got all feminists. We've got all types of people out here. But, money is the cornerstone of what we talk about. So are you still working right now? Are you doing OnlyFans? How are you making money?
Yeah, I do all that. There's pretty much not anything in the adult industry that I haven't done at least once. And I currently do a lot of things still. My primary focus is my production company and my CBD line. I have Wideside Productions. We produce content for a few different websites. And then, of course, we release content all over the internet on tons and tons of channels and platforms. And then I also have my CBD line. And my CBD line is, I started it a couple of years ago. It was something that I had wanted to really work on. And then the pandemic kind of gave me like time to really flesh it out. I've got a passion for cannabis, and to be able to be in a legal cannabis business is amazing. Shout out to everybody else who is, and the miracle of CBD is, something that I would really like to perpetuate, like I know so many people that can really benefit from CBD, not only people, but even animals.
What is it about CBD that is so compelling and why you love it so much? What's going on?
Well, it's legal. That's the best part.
Let's just start with the fact that it's legal.
The fact
You're not
that
going
it's
to
legal.
jail for that.
The reason why it's legal is because it doesn't get you high. It has, no psychotropic components.
I'm out.
But your grandma can use it. Your mom can use it. Your dog can use it.
Okay, so what are the benefits of the CBD?
It increases circulation. It reduces inflammation, increases sensitivity. It's great for pain, great for things like migraines, insomnia. And you can get a lot of the benefits of using cannabis without actually getting stoned.
Wow. Good to know. Have you ever used CBD, Nat?
I have actually used CBD, and it is kind of calming. It really is. Like, it's a nice little like soother. I didn't really use it a lot, but I have used it, and I've noticed it. They actually have bath bombs with CBD.
We've got bath bombs,
and I love to take a bath.
The bath
CBD.
bomb is one of the best products that we have.
You physically feel. You come out, you're like, so relaxed.
Yeah,
like,
you go right to bed.
Yeah,
right?
knock out right after.
Got it. All right, so CBD. All right, so if your income streams, how many do you have income streams?
I have very many. Most of
What are,
them
like,
with
the top
most. I was
three?
gonna say most of them are in adult. Like I just like to include adult as one because all these different platforms and all these different channels, their traffic waxes and wanes, and some might get more on others than the other. Of course, OnlyFans is a huge component of that. But I've also had my site sarajay.com for 21 years.
Wow.
So I feel like all these things kind of work together to build like the big adult money making machine.
Yeah.
But then I also have investments. I have real estate. I have stocks. I also have my CBD line. So
Awesome.
big primary part of my income is in adult, and my investments are in adult. But then I've been able to diversify over the past few years as well.
I love that. We're going to 100% talk about investments and real estate and the stock market and cash flow and all that fun stuff today. Lay your questions in the chat. We're going to answer some of those. I know Nat's got some questions that are lined up, which we'll talk about. I want to stay put for 1 second on the concept of OnlyFans. I feel like there's a running joke these days where it's like, oh, if you need to make some money, just go on OnlyFans. Okay, so in any industry, there's what is known as the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, where the top 20% in any industry is making 80% of the income.
Absolutely.
And then the bottom 80% is making 20% of the income. So I'm going to go ahead and assume you're in the top 20%. You're a Hall of Famer in AVN world. Like, you're in that top 20%. But speak to the young women out there, okay, that are like, all right, I'm 21 years old. I don't want to fucking go work at the Gap. Like, I'm sick of waitressing at, Applebee's, whatever. I didn't go to college. I'm just kind of figuring out I can get a job that pays me $18 an hour, or I can do OnlyFans.
Right.
Give us the good, the bad, the ugly, and the reality of doing OnlyFans. Not if you're Sara Jay, Hall of Famer. If you're just an average 21-year-old girl out there. Give it to me.
The biggest thing is that if you are an average 21-year-old girl, you're not used to being objectified. You're not used to being criticized. You are not used to selling your body and your sexuality for money. And that can come with criticism. That can come with a lot of feelings and emotions. And somebody who's like me, I've been doing this for 22 years. I'm like leather these days. You can say anything to me. I'm like, whatever.
Really?
But, somebody that's new, it's very hard, and your mental has to be very strong, because if not, it can kind of damage you for life. Like the things that I hear and the things that I see online, and I'm sure we all see them, it's incredibly damaging to somebody who's 21 and doesn't have like a strong mental health,
100%.
Yeah.
So is that something like, if you were 21, if Sara Jay, are you 40 yet? Forgive me.
I am 44.
Okay.
I'm about to be 45.
Looking good.
Phenomenal.
Looking good.
Thank
Good for you. You got the cornrows thing going on right now. I mean, I had to address it. You're doing your thing. But if Sara Jay was 21, not the Sara Jay of today, Sara Jay 21, I think you were in college. You dropped out of college to strip, to make money, I guess to afford college. You got into the industry. But Sara Jay at 21, if she saw the comments that were going on online, Instagram, what have you, YouTube, how would you process it back then versus now? You said you're like leather now, not worry about it.
That's a super good question. And, there's no way to really be sure of how the answer, because when I started, there was no internet. My site was one of the first adult sites online, and I really didn't think that anybody would know that I was a porn star. I just thought it would be something that was whispered in secret, and just to be online and for everybody to know is a thing. And then to be criticized for it, and to be criticized for every little thing, whether I, wear box braids, or whether I, have fake tits, or whatever, whether my teeth are straight, constantly criticized. It's hard to say what 21-year-old Sara would do, I had no idea going into this that there was going to be all that. So, I've had to build into leather for a long time. I think that I might not have chosen it if I would have known at 21, because of the simple fact that, not that I have any regrets now, but, if you go into a job and they're okay, every day, about every 10 minutes, somebody is going to tell you something horrible about yourself. You're like, is there another job that I could have, please? Right. Let's see if there's another opportunity somewhere else. So I'm not sure if I would have chosen it or not. It's really hard to imagine what you can go through online by trolls and stuff.
What did you do when you were going through it, when you were younger? Where did you seek for that, I guess, strength for those comments? Like, was there someone that was like, it's okay, like keep going? Or was it just like you found it in yourself? Or
You know what? I was married to a very supportive husband, and he was like really enforced my confidence. And then my mom, before I was married, really enforced my confidence.
And were you married while you were in adult? Okay.
Yeah. So to know that my man found me attractive and that like I was like the hottest thing to him. And then also when I started stripping before I actually started doing porn, that kind of helped a lot too, because I was able to make a really nice income on my physical appearance. I don't care if there's a lot of people out there who doesn't like it or not. Like, I can make money at it, you know, and I've made enough money to live comfortably. So those kind of things, like just like proof is in the pudding kind of thing, you know, like my man loves me. He thinks I'm amazing and I'm making great money with my appearance. So fuck the haters.
Well, so I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is, you know, there's going to be people out there, they're going to say, listen, what the fuck am I going to learn from a porn star?
Yeah.
Granted, I get it. But there is something to be said about the negativity that comes with putting yourself out there. The more that you put yourself out there and the bigger that you get, the more negativity that comes your way, the more hate that comes the way, the more commentary that comes your way, the more shit talking comes your way. And like you said, you know, if you were 21, looking back at it, you know, you weren't on social media at that point. Social media didn't exist. You probably wouldn't have done it, but you're in it now.
Yeah.
So, you know, the message out there is there's so many people out there that are, you know, seeking the approval of others, right? And that don't want to do something for the fear, well, what's so-and-so going to say? What's so-and-so going to say? And I'm not even talking about porn. It could be in business. It could be starting a podcast. It could be, you know, starting a new job. It could just be doing an Instagram post. Everyone's seeking validation. But there is something just freeing of being like, all right, bro, I'm just putting my shit out there.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You are so
and let me
right.
just do me.
Yep.
Speak to that a little bit.
You know, you are absolutely right. And I feel like I've lived my life like that. Like once you made the decision to like do something,
Owning
stick
it.
with it. Yeah, you just own it. And I've lived like my life like that on a personal level and on a business level. Like I don't hide who I am. People, you know, meet me and they're like, oh, hi, what do you do? I'm like, porn. You know, like
Straight
I'll
up.
just, I'll tell them right off the gate because you probably seen me and you probably already know already. And like, there's no point in, you know, like dancing around this bush, you know, like, yeah. So I own everything that I am. Like, I have no problem admitting all the things that I am.
Yeah, because I would
and
have
it feels
to imagine.
amazing.
Yeah, I was going to have to imagine.
I like to say I live a life of truth.
Yeah, which is amazing because you, no matter what you do, you're going to get judged, especially in the field that you're in. I mean, I'm going to the deepest levels of judgment. Like, I'm sure in the 20 years that you've been doing this, there's been some like, you're going to burn in hell. Like, okay, got
Only
it.
about twice a week.
Okay, exactly. So there's that. But owning whatever you're doing, okay, and being comfortable in your own skin, what gives somebody more peace and contentment than that?
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
That is happiness, you know, to be able to just be completely comfortable with everything you think, everything you do. And, you know, nothing can really penetrate that. Like, you can tell me whatever criticisms you want, but I am me. Like, and, you know, I always say things like, you know, about my nose, for example, like, this is the nose I was given. I'm fine with it. Like, you know, there might be prettier noses out there, but this is mine. You know,
No other
like,
noses.
no,
Your
I'm
confidence
totally
level
fine
is
with
high.
it. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, absolutely. Very high.
All right.
And it's not that I'm like a narcissist where I just am in love with myself. It's just I've accepted myself. Like, this is me. This is how I am, you know?
Sick.
Yeah.
Let's open it up. You know, now that we know Sara a little bit, she's confident. Listen, make all the comments you want, good, bad, negative, whatever. Sara ain't changing her cornrows. She's here. Okay.
By
She's
the
here.
way, they're box braids.
Is that different from cornrows?
Totally different.
I just realized they're box
so
braids.
cornrows like up against your head, and box braids
They come
hang
out.
out. Yep.
All right.
They draw a little box on your scalp. That's
I
why they call
apologize. Here I am making assumptions,
Come on now.
judging
No,
you.
it's okay. We all
thinking
can
you
learn.
have cornrows, and then
We can all learn things.
we can all learn. Nat, I know there's a lot of questions. We're going to get to them. Super chats, we're going to be answering them.
Yes.
You're going to be managing the super chats?
Yes, I am going to be managing the super chats.
And we're going to do a phone call with
one lucky
valutainer,
person.
Possibly a second.
Let's get a good super chat.
Exactly.
Okay?
And then if there's anything that you want to say or, bring out.
Got you. I think I do
we're
want to
good.
say one thing.
Yes.
Well, it is Friday, and we see we have a good group of everybody live. So make sure you guys like the video. Okay, we had a lot of difficulties getting here.
Yeah.
But make sure you guys like
We're
the video,
here.
subscribe to the channel, and get like your super chats really ready because we're gonna answer a good amount of them, and I think we can get some good tea for our viewers today.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, here's the deal. The whole purpose of what we're doing here is we want to serve you guys game, okay? We want you guys to take something from this episode that we do every single time. Be like, all right, great, got it, boom. How can I improve? The last thing that we want you to be is an incel who doesn't get laid, that doesn't make any money, that doesn't contribute to society, that benefits nobody. So if you learn a money tip, if you learn a relationship tip, if you learn a life tip, just remember, oh shit, I learned that on the Soscast. Thanks, Sara Jay. Thanks, Nat.
Yes.
Thanks, Sauce. Click, ding, like the video. So when you hear something you like the video. Boom.
I like that.
Nat, go ahead. What you got?
So I think we should let Miss Sarah pick which one today.
I like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pick which one?
Yeah, you want this one?
Yes.
What do we got here? Life questions.
Master
Okay.
of my
with
own
the-
destiny. I like it.
Yes. So we have a life question. We can actually start with, let's see, the second one, politics.
Oh.
Unite with conservatives and help save this country from the clowns running its liberal versus conservatives.
Okay. And who asked this question?
Frankie C.M. Madge.
Got it. So the question is what?
I'm like, I felt like it was a statement. No?
Yeah, I think
How do
it was
you
more a statement.
unite?
Conservatives and help them save the country between liberals.
Let me see
and
the question.
conservatives.
Let me
Yeah.
see what's going on here.
Not too
Okay.
sure.
How can you unite with conservatives to help save this country from the clowns
Yes.
running it, liberals versus conservatives? This is Frankie. All right. This isn't a political podcast, so we're not going to spend too
Yes.
much time on this. But I will say that the fact that you're even using the word clowns, you're automatically going to put someone in a defensive position,
Right.
and you're automatically going to make somebody feel uncomfortable. Because, I am very much at this point in my political life right in the freaking middle.
Yeah.
There's nothing more liberating than being able to call bullshit out on both sides.
Both sides, absolutely.
There's nothing more liberating than being able to be an umpire. Because once you're out, like, for instance, one of the things I always say is that politics these days, right? The media these days, it's become a sport. And are you on the blue jersey team or are you on the red jersey team? Okay. You know what color I like to wear? Red, white, and freaking blue.
Yes.
Okay. So what I like to do is understand that we're all Americans. And just like how let's say this guy's a conservative, respect to you, and you're calling the liberals clowns. I can't tell you how many liberals I know that think Republicans are clowns. I mean, literally Donald Trump, they say, is a clown, an orange man with a toupee type looking thing going on, looking like a clown. Yep. So I would say that if your goal is to talk shit, you won, buddy. But if your goal is to actually convert people to your way of thinking or align yourself with, put your viewpoints where someone will say, oh, that's a good question. I would use empathy, and I would actually make it a point where I generally want to know how I can change your mind. The best way to change someone's mind is to ask them questions.
Yes.
So, like, for instance, if you meet a socialist, what do you love about socialism? Like, if you started with socialism, you suck, and I'm never gonna find out, they're gonna be like, yeah, all right.
Well,
what do you
you're
love
already-
about socialism?
Yeah, you're already
right?
closed off.
What are your
you have to
thoughts
be
on your
open.
thoughts on the fact that socialism has never worked in a country before? And they're gonna answer these questions, and they're gonna realize, oh shit, I don't really have an answer. So to address your specific question
Yes.
about how you can, I guess,
He
fix
said
these liberal clowns, I would say don't kind of have that tone, because you're not going to convert anybody. Everything, this is what we talked about in the PBD podcast, everything is a conversion game. Okay, everything, how am I going to convert you to my way of thinking? It's not going to happen by talking shit. It's going to be by asking questions. And by the way, this is sales 101.
Yeah.
Selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions. Hey, so how long have you been interested in life insurance? Well, I've never been interested in it. Well, why not? Well, I've never had a need for it. Well, do you have kids? I do have kids. Well, what's going to happen if you pass away and your kids don't have any money? Oh, I never thought about that. All of a sudden you're thinking, rather than you don't have life insurance, you're an idiot. So that's sales. Okay, it's same thing with politics. So selling isn't telling, selling is asking questions. So if I'm that gentleman, thank you for the question, I would reframe the question and reframe it in your life. Sarah, okay, how do you feel about liberals and conservatives in politics today?
So if I'm not mistaken, his question was, how do you unite conservatives to like save the planet from the liberals and conservatives?
Yeah.
And okay, that whole thing. Honestly, I feel like our whole political system is in the toilet. Like this whole, like you said, red and blue teams, we need to have more teams because the thing is that we're not red and blue.
Right.
Like I would consider myself a conservative liberal. Like I am definitely a liberal, but I'm on the conservative side. And I think that just like sexuality, politics needs to be a gradient and not a box. I feel that way about a lot of things. And I think that the way that our, bicameral, what do they call it? The two-party system is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I think that that's a really broken system.
Bipartisanship.
Yeah, bipartisan. Thank you. I think that's a really broken system. And there's times where, I hear some liberal statements and I'm like, gee, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then there's other times where I hear conservative statements and I'm like, oh, that's a terrible idea too.
Right.
And I feel that there's a lot more people that if they use logic, they fall in the middle. Just like you said yourself, you have these feelings and these ideas that don't really fall into, or maybe they fall into both categories. So, in my opinion, we need more parties. Like as far as our political system goes, it needs to be revamped and remodeled and reorganized.
Did you grow up in a certain wing, more left, more right?
I grew up Democratic for sure. Like there was like Kennedy buttons at the house, and we went to the Mondale Ferreira campaign when I was a little girl.
Walter Mondale.
Yeah,
right,
back in the day.
Got wiped out by Reagan. Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, it's if you pay attention without blinders on and without having that closed-minded view, that everybo's got good points. And our system is the problem.
Respect. Matt, you want to add to that before we go to the next question? You grew up in a pretty conservative household, I want to say.
Yeah, I grew up in a pretty conservative, but I did have friends who were kind of like a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
I think as I got older and elections became more relevant, I kind of got my views a little more clearer. But I think it's important. The most important thing is to listen to each perspective and make your own decision from there. You don't have to necessarily be in a specific box. I think just having a fair conversation, listening to like valuetainment podcasts especially, you get to really get a chance to hear both sides and make your choice from there. I have friends who are completely on the other side, and there's totally okay with it. We're able to still be friends and communicate. But I think it's just understanding your morals, your values, and kind of where you want to stand and how you want to impact the world. So there's nothing wrong with any of your choices in that sense. But just be fair to each side. Listen to both sides.
Let me ask you a question, Sarah, because I'm sure there's going to be people being like, how can a porn star even attempt to call herself a conservative?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, because we've had Nikki Benz here, and she's like, I'm a conservative.
Right.
I don't even know if we didn't get into politics on that. So how can someone that has sex on camera for a living call themselves a conservative? How do you put that together?
Money. I like money. Plain and simple. I like money.
Got it.
And whereas in my mind, a lot of times conservatives focus on the financial assessment of whatever the topic is, and liberals often focus on the humanitarian aspect of whatever the topic is. Those things both need to be considered. So I would have to prioritize my liberal side and say that, I am a liberal because this is my bread and butter and the adult business is how I make my money. But also when it comes to money, I am a little bit more on the conservative side, and also some policies as well. I lived on the West Coast, for example, for a long time. And the homeless problem is like an issue, and I love my liberals, but also that whole system is broken. We cannot have people just sleeping on the streets, and so that's very conservative point of view. So like there's definitely different topics that I'm going to be more conservative on. But, obviously there's more topics that I'm going to be more liberal on. Roe versus Wade and, just porn in general. So,
I think,
you have to.
What I took from you when you said I like money, you're a capitalist, baby.
I am definitely a capitalist.
And this is the go-to capitalist channel on the entire internet. So we love entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur in your space. You're a capitalist. So... it's interesting how something that seems so far loosey-goosey liberal, like being a sex worker, porn, you could also have some conservative values.
Absolutely. I love money. I love making money. I love investing money. And I believe that people should be rewarded who work hard also. Whereas, that's not always... socialist or liberal or any of the other left kind of views, so over the years I've had to just realize that I do have some right views as well. Like there are some.
I think a part of the part of the working hard component, I wish I remember where I saw this, but they said that in other languages the word earn does not exist. In the English language, the word earn, I earn money, I earn income, okay? In Spanish, I want to say it's like ganar, to like win.
I don't speak Spanish.
Oh my God. Okay. But people are going to be like, that's not true, bro. I already know it. Like, I saw this, fact check it. In other languages, there's not a lot of terms for earn. It's to win money or to receive money, not earn. Earn comes from work. Comes from work ethic. And that's one thing that we 100% subscribe to here on Valuetainment on the Soscast, and is you got to put in the work.
Even if it's like working smarter and not harder, you're still working, like you're still coming up with the ideas so that you don't have to physically labor, or whatever.
Right.
Respect. All right, let's get into some investing questions or money questions.
You want to do another? Okay.
Let's go. I mean, she said she likes to make money. Let's talk freaking money. All we talk is money.
Let's see.
It is ganar. See, I said that. It is ganar. See?
Yes. Okay, so let's see. Let's get a money question. Here's a good one.
Yes.
What is the best investment for the upcoming bear market? This is from Shayar. What would you say is the best investment?
Okay, gotcha. The best investment, I'm going to quote Warren Buffett here. We all know Warren Buffett, the 90-something-year-old billionaire that everyone knows, that everyone wishes was their grandpa. Warren Buffett once says that the best way to be recession-proof is to be the best in your field. The best in your field, no matter what business you're in, if you're the best in your field, you're going to be recession proof. If you're the best porn star,
I've always been recession proof.
You're going to be recession proof.
I've lived through a couple of them.
You're going to be recession proof, okay? If you're like in my field, I'm the best at what I do in the financial space, all right? In the financial wholesaling segment, hedge fund world, what I do, I'm the best in that. And I've been through bear markets and bull markets, and I come out on the other side. So no matter whether you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a porn star, you're a salesperson, you're an engineer, if you're the best in your field, the top 20%, you're going to be recession proof. I'm not going to tell you that like things won't happen in your life that aren't as good as great years, but being the best in your industry is 100% recession proof. Now, beyond that, cash is king, baby. Okay. So they say that in, bull markets, you can make money when the market's going up, but in bear markets, you can become rich. So if you stack cash and if you're smart with your money and the market is low, there's going to be some buying opportunities, whether that's you want to buy some real estate, whether you want to, buy stocks while it's cheap. I bought a couple Bitcoin just because it's fucking cheap right now. I'm like, I'm not even a huge Bitcoin guy, but I'm like, all right, I'll throw fucking 50K into some Bitcoin. Let's see what happens. Boom, bought a couple Bitcoin.
I like to think of bear markets as everything's on sale.
Everything's exactly.
It's like clearance.
What would your three top like investments be for that?
Right at this moment, because we are in a bear market, I would stick with like you just said, the ones that are like the top of their league, the best of their league, Google, Apple, Microsoft, you stick with the powerhouses because for a fact 10 years from now, those companies are all going to be in existence. For a fact 10 years from now, they're all going to be more successful than they are currently. And currently, they are the best in their field. So during bear markets, I like to stick with the sure go-getters. Yep, absolutely.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think. Well, I'm gonna give you a little fact check right now, Sarah.
Please do give it to me.
So we did this on
me.
the. I had an argument with Richard Hart. Not an argument. He was schooling me. Who's like a major crypto guy. And he's like, diversification is bullshit. Why would you diversify? Which is basically buying a bunch of stuff because some stuff goes up, some stuff goes down, and you never know. But did you know that I believe it's in the last 50 years that only 10% of the Fortune 500 companies are still in existence? Let me say that again.
That's 50 years.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But I agree that Apple and Amazon and Google, they'll all be here, no doubt. I knock on wood, we'll see. But some companies get a little bloated. They get complacent.
A lot of times
lazy.
they get bought out by other companies. That's what I see
too.
A lot of times is mergers.
Right. Or in 2009, when the great financial crisis, nobody thought that Bear Stearns or Lehman Brothers was going to go out of business.
Right.
So if you had all your money into one stock,
absolutely.
and if you're the corporate stock, for instance, we just had a major event that we do at Valuetainment called The Vault. A couple thousand entrepreneurs there here in South Florida, the Diplomat. And we had the CFO of Enron. Do you remember Enron back in the day?
Of course.
Headlines. They're a major conglomerate, Fortune 500 company. And they went bust. They went bankrupt. They lost all their money. And we brought in the CFO who basically told the story. His name is Andy... Fuck me. Andy...
That's a crazy last name.
Andy, fuck me. Andy. Respect to you, Andy. I forget his last name. If anybody knows... Anyway, Andy was the CFO, and he tells a story about basically how when Enron was in the news and in the headlines, the year prior, he won CFO of the year.
Wow.
The Fortune CFO of the year.
Yeah.
And a year later, he was showing a picture of his prison cell inmate number. And that's how quickly... Andy Fastow. Thank you. How'd you remember that?
I just know it.
You read it somewhere?
No. I remembered it. I just remembered it.
Nat for the win.
Fast out. I don't see Spanish, but I remember.
But the point is this, is that, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Most of those companies will be there. But if you're going to put all your eggs in one basket and you're going to, like, what happens is Enron encouraged their company, just same with Washington Mutual. We just had the CEO of a bank. You remember Washington Mutual?
I used to have an account there.
Oh, my God.
We got bought out by Wells Fargo.
100%. Yeah. They had the CEO of Washington Mutual, and a lot of times these corporations, whether it's Enron or Washington Mutual, they'll encourage their employees to put 100% of their retirement accounts in employee stock. And if you put it all into one place and it goes to shit, I do agree with diversification to an extent. I do believe in being the best in your field, and if you play the long game over time, you will win.
I play the long game, but it's like a short long game, not 50 years, 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, very good, very good. Like, I agree with everything you said.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get in a little fight right there. Sarah,
not at all.
I have a question I would like.
Okay.
I think we should move into maybe relationships.
Oh, my.
So I think so.
By the way, there were some questions that we received for Sarah.
Yes.
Specifically.
Do you want me to do that one
No,
first?
just relationships in general. That's fine. But then I think Sarah had some specific questions.
Yes.
Thank you, Andy Fastow. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's do a relationship one. Let's see. Well, this one is kind of for Sarah as well. Sarah, is the porn industry harmful for young people, and does it lead to sexual and social anxiety? Does watching porn lead to destruction of the dopamine reward system?
Who asked that question? We got to give him a shout out.
It's just like, It's like MHMHN.
Okay. Yeah. He actually, I think it's a him, asked a lot of questions. So I asked that for him.
Appreciate
Right.
it.
If you're going to ask questions, we're going to give you a shout out.
Yes.
So there it is.
So the first question was, does it lead to destruction of...
dopamine, the reward system.
Oh, that's okay. The dopamine reward system. Okay, so I think abusing anything can lead to the destruction of the dopamine reward system. Am I wrong? Whether it's pornography or alcohol or marijuana or, answering your phone too many times, like that whole thing, it can lead to anything, can lead to the destruction of dopamine.
Too much of anything is a bad thing.
Of course, it's a bad thing. Moderation, absolutely. You have to stay within, the reality of like what's really going on. There was another part to that question too. I think like first part.
Does it lead to sexual and social anxiety?
That actually caught my attention because I'm not sure if they are referring to consumers of pornography or if they're referring to performers of pornography. But I can speak as a performer of pornography. Yes, it does.
As a performer of pornography, what does?
It leads to social anxiety. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Being a performer.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure how it would affect somebody who is over consuming because I'm not an over consumer of porn, believe it or not.
Do you watch porn?
Never.
Oh. Never.
Really?
I can't watch it and enjoy it because I know the performers and I know the couch that they did it on. I know that couch squeaks. And then, I
can't watch that goddamn squeaky couch anymore.
No, because I can't get out. I'm like, she's not enjoying it. I know her. She doesn't even like anal. I can't do it. But I watch it to edit, right. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. I can't watch it. As a content creator, not in your space, right? I very rarely will rewatch a podcast I do.
Why would you do that to
maybe
yourself?
I'm going to say, I like that clip right there, cut that.
Right.
But you don't need to revisit something that you've already lived. But back to the porn star thing, you're saying, well, I know she doesn't really like that. That's not her thing. What percentage of porn stars love doing what they do? Yeah. What percentage are like, listen, it's a job. I came to do this. I get in and I get out. And what are like, I actually fucking hate this job, but I'm just doing it for a paycheck. Do you understand the three different categories I did? Who love sex and they would do it for free, but they're happy to make money?
I would say 10%.
10% what?
That love sex and they do it for free even if they those are my favorite people, to be honest with
Would
you.
you name names? Who comes to mind?
Me.
Okay.
But
she's not going to work for free though.
No. I'm also smart enough to know that because I would do it for free. If porn didn't exist, I'd be out here doing the same thing anyways. Then I can ask for more money because I'm actually truly, genuinely enthusiastic about everything that I'm doing.
This is why you're recession-proof, baby.
That's why I'm recession-proof.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Are there any other friends you would like to say, oh, I know this girl, she would do it,
Or guys.
Yeah,
not so much guys. Let's stay with the guys. I rarely tell Nat to pipe down.
Right.
Pipe down here, Nat.
Well, we got to expose the guys too.
The first person that comes to mind is Ava Devine. She's been, comrade of mine over the years, and she has a true passion for sex, which is great. Aubrey Black. Her sexuality just pours off her skin and is such a pleasure to work with because everything is sexy about her. Every word that she says just drips in sex, and it's great to be able to meet those kind of people within the industry, and it kind of gives you life again. Like when you start to get a little jaded and you meet somebody that's got that zest for what they're doing, I'm like, yes, I've got my zest back too.
Okay, so I kind of alluded to the 80-20 rule earlier and anything, but you're saying, hey, the 10% of women, they just love what they do.
Yeah.
All right, break down the rest of the 90%.
And also I think that a lot of them got into the industry because they already were doing naughty things. They were lifestylers. Yeah. They were, swingers, or they were just really slutty, or I've talked to some girls that were super slutty in high school, and they were like, this just seemed like the right thing for me to do, Yeah. So there's that. And then
I think, not to cut you off, but Andrew Tate, who we just interviewed, it's a massive interview. Familiar with who that is?
It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Okay. Basically, he's
terrible with names.
He's like, only a stupid American would just sleep around with a bunch of guys and make no fucking money and just be a hoe. He goes, in Europe, if you're going to sleep with a guy, you're going to get paid for it. I go, oh my God, what a perspective. Now, keep in mind, I live here in America, especially in South Beach. Ladies, I really appreciate what you do, especially all good. Keep doing you. But that's just his perspective.
But it's true. And the legalities of it in America make kind of make that kind of lane for girls, where they feel bad about wanting to be slutty,
Well, we're gonna get into the question of
Yeah.
body count in a second, but finish your story on. What
Yeah.
percentage of women appreciate
So what were the other two
job?
groups?
Well, I said the top 10%
Yeah.
who loves their job, they would do it. We just did
I say
that.
10% maybe.
Who's like, listen, it's a job. I'm going to put on my hard hat, get to work, boom. It is what it is. I don't
Yeah.
hate it. I don't love it. It's a job. And then the third category was like, who fucking hates their job, but they got to do it because they got to pay
Okay,
some
so
bills.
I feel like there's another like
Percentage-wise.
10% that hate
Yeah.
it. That actually, I feel like there's another 10% that like really hate it, and like they were convinced to do it, and they're already here, and people seem to like them, and they're kind of getting the energy off the likes and the like button, and they're like, I can't wait to find something else to do, So I still feel like there's
they don't
also
want to be doing
yeah.
this, but they're doing it out of necessity.
Right, they're doing it on necessity and because it already started happening, whatever. And then the other 80% are the one who are like, it's a job.
It's a job.
Yeah.
Got to get to work.
Yeah.
Got to get,
It's unfortunate, but
but that's
Yeah.
80%. So
Yeah.
if there's 100 porn stars, 10 absolutely love their job.
they're like, yes,
10%.
they're like sucking off the camera guy, like, and then
We got camera guys in there. Jorge, we're thinking of you, bro. Jorge, I'm gonna hook you up. That's my guy. I love that guy. We're thinking of you right now, the camera guys. All right, so 10% love their job. They'll do whatever. 10% hate their freaking job. They can't wait to change careers. And then there's the 80% in the middle who are just like, listen,
it's not that bad.
get to work.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fuck somebody today.
so what you're saying is 80%, 8 out of 10 porn stars, it's just a job.
Yeah.
They're not hoes. They're not,
and they don't hate their job. They don't hate their life. They're not miserable.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's fine.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting dynamic. All right, so this concept of, all right, well, let me go on a little speech here right now. So I always tell this story about on my 40th birthday, basically, a guy came up to me and he's like, bro, Adam, you're 40, dog, you're a pimp, you're making money, you got chicks. You're like, I'm literally at my bar in South Beach. I have a bar. Shout out to Bodega. I know you're drinking it. And then he goes, oh, shit, like, look at Laura. What's up with her? Oh, no, she's not married, no kids. Oh, man, that sucks, horrible, whatever. And I realize there's a big difference between a man who's 40 and a woman who's 40. Okay.
Sure.
That's not my question, though. I'm just framing this, though. And then it gets into the concept of body counts, right? So, right now there's a stat out there we reference all the time that 45% of working women between the ages of 25 and 45 by year 2030 are going to be single, not married, no kids, just by themselves. All right, so I'm giving you some context here. And essentially the premise is, like you were married when you were young, right?
Very young, yeah.
So, but you're liberated now, you make money,
Yeah.
you're good, you're happily single.
Yeah.
Most women by the age of 44 would be very upset to be single, meaning they would like to be married, they would like to have kids, they would like to have a family. I think most women kind of want that. You're a unique person. But the concept of a high body count, it's different between men. This is essentially what I'm asking you is like for a man with a high body count, and I don't know what you would consider a high body count. Let's say it's 100. Okay.
Right, okay.
For a guy who's had sex
Yeah.
with 100 women, it's like you're the man, dog. You're doing it, right? You do you, player. For a woman who's had sex with 100 men, not being paid for it, just because
Sure.
they do some, they're having fun. They're considered a hoe, and they're kind of used goods. They got a high body count. That's his perspective. How do you grapple that as someone who gets paid to do sex?
No, I've got a very high body count.
Correct. But you've been paid for that.
Yeah.
But
and
I'm talking about
honestly,
women in general
I got
who are
you.
not being paid for it.
I personally don't think about high body counts in a negative light because I personally don't want to have sex with somebody with a low body count ever. Like
You don't?
because they're inexperienced. I want somebody with more experience.
But that's you, Sarah, who's
you're asking me.
I'm trying to put you into the
Yeah.
mind of the average. I'm thinking of a
Right.
25-year-old girl who slept with a handful of guys. She's hearing mixed messages where it's like, girl, do you be liberated, do your
Right.
thing. And
You
then
know
there's
what?
another group of people who are basically saying, listen, girl, don't go down that path. Like, ease up a little bit. You know, the gas and the brakes analogy.
You have to be aware that people are going to have opinions on all your actions. Just like we were saying before about the internet and trolls. No matter what you do, somebody's going to say something about it. But at the end of the day, when you have a high body count and you decide that you find the man that you want to suck dick for the rest of his life, you're going to suck his dick really good. Because you've had a lot of practice.
Word to the wise out there.
You've had a lot of practice. And there is somebody for everybody out there. So
you're going to do, okay, I like what you just said right there. So even if you are a high body count type of girl, okay, you've done your thing, but you meet the man of your dreams, you're going to do some shit to this man. You're like, listen, I might have done some stuff. I might have done some host stuff in my day.
I'm going to show you.
But now you're getting all the host shit I've learned, and it's all for you, and you're going to enjoy it. And don't fucking talk shit, because you're getting all of it, motherfucker.
Absolutely. The way that we need to like progress the world. Seriously, the way that we need to progress the world, in my opinion, is to be more accepting of like high body counts. It's not so much damaged goods, but like, oh, this is somebody who has had fun in life and had a lot of experiences, and maybe they can show me something. You know,
show me something.
Show me something. I just recently had sex with somebody who was like very low body count, and I was like, you know, come back to me in like 20 more girls. After you had sex with about 20 girls, come back to me.
Really?
Yeah. Because
you wouldn't take it on to like show them.
I don't have that kind of patience. You know what? Go learn out in the world. Come back.
But do you
to me
feel like
later.
that innocence of somebody not having that body count is attractive?
It's not to me.
You
know what? I'll be honest with you. It's completely not to me. That's a great question, because I get asked all the time, oh, would you fuck me? I'm a virgin. No, definitely don't want to fuck any virgins ever. Like that.
Oh, like they're asking for a favor? Like, hey, would you be?
Yeah. Like, you know, I get people online. I get people online too that are just like, you know, I'm a virgin. Would you fuck me? No, I don't want that responsibility, number one. And I don't want to teach you, number two. I want to be in for a good time when I'm having sex. Like, I want this to be like a mutual good time. I don't want it to be me like showing you what to do. Yeah. You know, I'm not really into being a teacher. Like, but yeah, let's do it.
But you do at the same time, Sarah, you have done a lot of MILF porn.
I make demonstration videos.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but that's
sure.
That's on camera versus off camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like a sexually eager young man, but I am not really into like teaching people in my personal life.
In real life, what's your ideal age difference? Ideal.
Okay, so age doesn't really matter to me, but experience does.
Okay.
I would rather somebody with a lot of experience.
Okay.
Yeah, the age, like you could be 20 years old and have a lot of experience, or you could be 50 and not have any. Yeah. You know, so, and I've hit both of those, and I want somebody with a lot of experience.
Got it. Well, there's a we talked about this yesterday. Remember the crisis of young men that's going on, and then you'll
I'm taking
do your thing. But there's a crisis among young men. We talked the Scott Galloway, I believe his name is, a New York NYU professor at the Stern School of Business, and he was on Bill Maher. Do you ever watch Bill Maher? Bill Maher, huge fan.
Love him.
Yep. Bill, I know you watch the show all the time. Respect to you, bro. He talks about the crisis that's going around young men, and basically, the most dangerous people in the world are just young men alone, bored on their phones, and they go down rabbit holes of whether it's porn, whether it's political stuff, whether it's religious stuff. They get indoctrinated on their phones, and to circle back to sexuality stuff, he says that 1/3 of men under 30 have not had sex in the last year. So 1/3 out of men, right? Under 30 have not had sex in the last year. And I talked about this at the beginning, how basically the whole premise of this show is to give you guys game out there, right? To serve you guys up game, so you don't end up as one of these 1/3 of people, incels, not making money, not contributing to society, angry as about the world. What have you learned in that? Like you talked about these virgins who are begging me to take their virginity.
Yeah, sure.
What are you seeing out there as far as young men go?
You know, first of all, over my 22 years in adult, it's changed. It has changed. Like when I first started, young guys really had no idea what to do in sex, and they were like all over the place. And there was, I feel like there may have been more virgins when I first started, to be honest with you. And now I feel like the way that society's progressed, and maybe porn has done something to help that, there's a lot more people that are like more comfortable with their sexuality, whatever their sexuality may be, whether they, like to dress up as a clown or they like to fuck somebody of the same sex. There's something for everybody out there, and the internet has been able to bring those people together. So I feel that there are less people that are not getting laid than there used to be. But that's from my personal research.
And you've done a lot of research.
I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of research. And the younger guys are actually fucking better than they used to be.
Really?
Yeah, I used to not like fucking young guys at
What do you consider
all.
a young guy, though? Under 30, under 25? Okay.
Under 25, I consider
They're
a
doing
young guy.
better.
Much better. They're
Why
much
is
more
that?
skilled because there's more educational videos for them to watch that our industry has created. Yeah.
So you think that that's a net positive for young men?
It is a net positive. Absolutely.
Do you think there's a net negative, though? Because maybe they're seeing things on porn, the hair pulling, the spitting, the
That's
whatever.
unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah. One of the things, and unfortunately, we don't have a caveat before you watch a porn of like, make sure that everything is good with your partner and communicate. But make sure everything's good with your partner and communicate. Not everybody is going to want to, get choked and get their hair pulled and everything. So that's something that you need to like work out with them and have open and honest discussions during or prior to sex. People are always like, oh, I don't want to have these like corny discussions like before sex, it kills the mood. But you can do it in the middle of sex. You can be like, oh, do you like that? How does that feel?
In the middle of sex.
Yeah, absolutely. No, like you pull the girl's hair and you're like, did you like that? Was that good? So
there's a little hot tip for you gentlemen out there in the middle of sex.
It can definitely be like sexy talk, and it can be a turn on to communicate during sex. Like, oh yeah, I like it like that. No, I don't like that. Like,
No.
Don't pull on my balls like they're milk cutters, please.
Speaking of balls.
Yeah. So, I feel that porn and, just our society in general and the progression is actually helped people be more sexual.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all the work that you do for these young men out there.
I
We
try to
appreciate
help
it.
everybody.
And I will say this. For those young men out there that, the stats show 1/3 of young men, they're not making money. They're on their phones. They're not getting laid. Thank God that there's actual strippers and sex workers out there, because these young men need to get this aggression out.
Yeah. And
They do.
also they need to have experiences. And if they're already having hard times communicating with women, then somebody like a sex worker or a stripper kind of gives them a place where they can practice communicating. Well, even just like practice communicating.
Yes.
And practice like speaking to a woman, that's very important to communicate your desires, and not just be like, come here, let me fuck you, like, yeah, you just got to grease the wheels, baby.
Yeah, grease the wheels, baby. Nat,
Would you like
You have
me
a
to
gift? What do you
share
got?
my gift that I got?
what do you got right there? What do you
So
got going
I've got
on?
a box of goodies.
You got a gift? What do you have?
I got a gift. It's from Manscaped.
Wow.
Where your balls will thank you. Alrighty.
Wow.
I think we should go through some of these items. If
Hold
you wanna-
on. So back up a second. So Manscaped sent the box.
Manscaped sent a box.
Okay. And they are a male grooming company.
Yes.
They've been sending stuff to us quite some time. Somehow you got it.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with them at all?
I am now familiar with them.
Okay. Gotcha. Are you
Looking
familiar
at
with
the box.
Manscaped at all?
I am.
Okay.
I'm going to pass around some of the items.
These are some of the items in the box.
Yeah, so we have a weed whacker.
Okay. So this is a weed whacker.
Yeah.
All right. This is the weed whacker. This is
I think you can use it in all your areas that you need to use it.
Really?
Your nose
Yeah.
or your balls?
I think you can. Or even
Sweet.
your
Ear?
back hole.
Hey.
Okay, Manscaped,
sure,
the weed whacker.
I'm sure.
Now, technically, this says electric nose and ear hair trimmer, but thank you,
You can
Manscaped,
use
for
it
this.
for
This is
anything,
awesome.
Let's
Awesome.
be honest.
So essentially,
Got
these are
some boxer briefs.
nice.
Let
Boxers or
Sara
briefs?
Jay
What do you like?
Open it.
I like boxer briefs.
Yeah, okay.
Briefs.
Like
Boom.
the hybrid,
You don't like
right?
the tidy whities?
No, like I like both. I like
Got
the
some
boxer briefs.
deodorants. I don't know if you can. Deodorant. Oh, that smells very lovely, actually.
I like the way it
Deodorant.
looks.
But that's deodorant, not for your arms.
Oh,
Really?
yes, for your balls.
Balls.
Interesting.
exciting.
I'm gonna hold on to that
I
bad
wanna
boy right there.
smell
Go ahead,
Okay,
Sarah.
let's
Let me
smell
see.
it.
Sarah,
Let
of
me
course,
see. Let
smell
me see
it,
if
Sarah.
I
Sarah J
approve.
approve.
Oh, that's nice.
Right?
Ooh.
That's
I would love
smells
it if
good.
some balls smelled like
This
that.
is the actual.
Is it edible?
Oh.
I don't think it's edible, baby girl. I,
I
don't
mean,
think
it's-
that's what's gonna happen.
It's something to consider.
All right.
Right, Sarah?
Yeah.
after a couple more cocktails.
I think you shouldn't put this in your mouth.
Yeah,
I think so too.
that's what she said.
We have a ball toner.
Nice.
A ball toner.
Now,
After.
Oh, is that for after you shave your
Yes.
balls?
Oh, and
That's
this
Crap
great.
Reviver ball toner. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Manscaped. I will make sure to
We also
use
have
the toner.
anti-chafing, so I know
Yes.
that could be a little.
Well, you guys,
uncomfortable.
when you shave, things happen.
Or if your balls are really big and you're walking, I'm sure
This
there's
is a
some
problem that a
chafing.
lot of
Yeah,
us
you got
have right
big
there, Sarah.
balls.
Shout out to Neil. Neil's got that
Neil the
problem.
Deal.
Okay. Neil
And
Weinstein.
then it comes with a bag, so you guys can put all your items in the bag as
This
well.
actually might be the most clutch thing.
I think
Thank you,
so.
Manscaped, because
I think so.
a travel bag. Respect. Okay,
There's
thank you.
something in here. I don't know if I should.
You don't
bust it
need to get
open.
into it. But anyway, so Manscaped sent us this. Thank you, Manscaped. And Sarah.
I have
what-
a
Oh,
you got a gift?
I have a little gift.
I
Oh, wow.
want to know:
have a
does
little
these
gift.
things matter to you?
The things
Like these
that-
items.
Yeah,
Like, you like these
not the
items.
toner. The toner, I was like, I hope that you enjoyed the toner.
Yeah.
I hope
Okay.
that the men
That's
enjoy
very-
the
But
toner.
for-
But the rest of them
Yeah.
definitely,
For a woman who has
Okay.
seen a lot of
especially that
Manscaped stuff.
deodorant stick.
Yeah.
My favorite balls are the ones that smell good.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Like those are the best balls,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I agree, but I haven't been around many balls
Natural
other than
smelling
my
balls.
own. But
Natural
Hopefully
smelling
you
balls.
find
I,
that
I would
cool.
encourage all you young men out there to make
Yeah.
your balls smell good.
Little essential oil on your
Yeah.
balls or some, Manscaped deodorant
Yeah.
stick there. But yeah, like natural smelling balls are cool, but like
Yeah.
when they smell delicious.
Wow.
It's better.
There you
yeah.
go.
Wow. We're
There's a tip for
By the
you
way,
gentlemen out there.
Are you more into men or women? What's your breakdown?
I'm definitely bisexual, but my breakdown
Okay.
would probably be like 60-40.
60-40 what?
Men.
When?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
So not to put us on the spot here, but if you saw Nat and I in the club, would you
Yeah.
gravitate more towards Adam or Nat?
Oh man, if you were together, it would be like I'd be like, oh no, man.
You can only pick one, Sarah.
Damn. Yeah, that's hard.
That's what she said.
I'll be
Go
honest,
ahead.
it's hard.
Adam.
You got some really nice eyes.
Oh, thank
and
you.
you've got some really nice eyes as well. And also your smile.
Nice
You
and
got-
honest.
Thank you for
I
the
love
nice
looking
eyes.
right in your eyes.
Wow. Interesting.
I get that.
That's what I love about you, Nat.
Yeah.
Your eyes.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So you're not
absolutely.
going to pick one. You want both.
Like
Guys, we're going to be right back.
that's the cool thing about being bisexual is like, why do I have
Really?
to choose? Yeah.
Do you think that most girls have bisexual tendencies?
I think most girls are tolerant of bisexual tendencies,
Huh.
but when it really comes
good
down to
statement.
brass tacks,
Yeah.
like, they might make out with a girl when they're drunk or
Yes.
something, but when it really comes down to like, would you go on a date with a girl?
Yeah.
That's a big divider for
that
a lot
is.
of
A
girls.
full-on
like,
date.
Like,
Yeah.
dinner and like, you go back to your place and you have a little wine. Like, what happens next?
Yeah.
So I think that is like a real defining line between like women who like play gay and like women who like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I don't want to get canceled here, okay? But I'm going to say my actual... I don't think a guy could really be bisexual. I'm sure there are some anomalies out there, but none of my
seen it.
dudes who are straight are like, you know what I'm thinking, bro? Rick over there has got some great smelling balls. Or like zero. That doesn't happen. 100% of the people I've had sex with have been on female.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know. Like I remember this one time, this girl, she called me. This was years ago, and she's like, "Adam, I want to get your advice." She's like, "My boyfriend that I'm dating, he kind of hooked up with another guy." I'm like, "Hold on, what?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, what did he do?" She's like, "Well, he gave him a blowjob." I'm like, "He's gay."
Yeah.
Like nobody just samples a blowjob.
So
That's not a thing.
I feel that this attitude, no offense.
Yeah.
But I feel
Offend
that-
me.
Okay,
Push
I'm gonna
back.
offend
All
you then.
good.
I'm
You
gonna
cannot
push
offend
back.
me.
I feel that this attitude is an attitude and of you that might need to be like corrected.
No, it's not being corrected.
Well,
but I'm open to,
no,
but I'm willing to listen.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like you feel how you feel.
I'm
I can't
firm
change
in my
you.
feelings.
You go in your lane.
Yes,
You feel how you feel. I can't
100%.
change you.
I'm a
but
dude. Yeah.
the thing is that I think a lot of men don't explore that part of themselves because of the stigma of people like yourself with that with the attitude of like, no, you're either gay or you're not gay.
Yeah.
And there's so many centuries of that a lot of people don't feel comfortable exploring and being like, no, sometimes I suck a dick.
Yeah, well, here,
You know?
I'm going to push back to you.
Do it.
If there was ever an inkling that I was like, you know what, I may be, then maybe you explore.
You might be like completely hetero.
I've complete what?
You're probably completely hetero, but there's other people out there that are like,
but there's nothing wrong with.
I don't know, guys smell good sometimes.
If you think another guy smells good and you want to explore that,
Feeling that cologne.
I generally more power to you, bro. But no, I get. You know how like if you know how they say like when you meet I'm into girls.
Well,
that's it.
Congratulations.
Thank
you are 100% heterosexual.
Would
Thank
you
you.
pick a guy
Sarah
who would be
said
into
that.
guys, maybe? Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would?
Sure. I mean, that's not like a goal, but like if I had a guy who was into guys, that could be fun. Maybe.
You know what I always thought about?
Yeah, I mean, I like guys and I like girls. I'm kind of like whatever. So if I had a guy who felt the same way, I mean, I can think of like a lot of dynamics that we could get into. Like, it's not something that I would shun. I'd be like, yeah, let's explore that.
Sarah, since we are a money show, and I really want to see what you have here. I'm excited to see this. Since we are a money show, I mean, money, finance, romance, all that stuff. I'm a huge advocate of a guy being a gentleman, okay? And I'm a huge advocate of when a man takes a woman out on a date, you pay for the date, you know, whether you pick him up or whether you pick up the Uber, like do the gentleman chivalrous thing, okay?
Sure.
Like, pay for the date. However, when two women go on a date, how does that work?
Yeah.
Right?
Whoever asks, I kind of lead with that in my life, whether it's a man or a woman. Whoever asks the other person on the date is the one who should pay.
Okay.
Like if I said, "Hey, do you want to go out on Friday?"
All right.
And you're like, "I would love to," then I fully expect to pay.
Yes.
But if you step up and you're like, "No, I'll take care of it," I'm not going to be like, "No."
I feel like there's a lot of fake reaching when women go. Because obviously, when you go out and taking a girl on a date, they go, "Oh, you want me? Yeah, you're good."
No,
girl.
I honestly
a lot
feel
of fake
like
reaching going on.
I
a lot of fake two lesbians fake reaching the whole time.
honestly feel like whoever does the asking, you're the aggressor. You're the one who you invited the person on the date. Yeah,
Sarah,
for sure.
that works on a first date.
Yeah.
But now let's say it's a second, third, fourth, fifth date.
Yeah.
How does that work? There's no more like asking in a date. It's like, what's up? What are we doing? All right, cool. We're hanging out.
Yeah, there's
Two
so
chicks.
many factors, you know, like if it's someplace that I want to go to, I'm going to pay because like maybe, you know, it's my idea. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of factors, but I think that it varies each instance, you know, like if we are going someplace very expensive, whoever is going to pay, whoever makes the most money should pay.
That was my next question. Like, is it become a like who has more money become a factor?
Right. I mean, like if we say I ask you out to Sexy Fish, you know, I'm like, hey,
in Brickell. Great spot.
Hey, let's go to Sexy Fish.
Yes.
I'm not going to expect you to pay for Sexy Fish when I'm thinking about Sexy Fish. Yeah. I'm fully prepared to pay for Sexy Fish.
Oh, yeah. So am I.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, then we might split it. Fuck it.
Sexy Fish is a restaurant in Miami and Brickell.
It's pricey.
It's great. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with it.
Pricey,
Okay, so when men take women out on a date, the gentleman thing to do. When women go out, you know, it's kind of like who asks, who makes. What about when two dudes go out on a date? How does that work?
I
wouldn't know. Maybe you would know.
I think it's probably the same. Like whoever asked the other person, you know, like when in doubt, it's like whoever initiated the date should be paying. You know, like. You know, if I was to say to you, you want to go out tonight?
Hey,
like that means that like I'm paying, you know, like, And if you want to chip in, that's cool. But like, I am fully prepared to pay for our evening together because I asked you on an evening together, you know?
Right. No, I agree with that.
Cool. I appreciate that. What you got right there, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, so I have some gifts for you. Just a little bit of swag, and then some of my CBD products. I have the Time Out Bath Bomb.
Nice.
Wow.
And I have the brand new formula of personal lubricant.
Wow.
And then over here, I have a bottle of massage oil, some lighters, some goodies, some towels.
Well,
Adam,
maybe we
your
could all.
weekend should be busy this weekend.
Thank you, Sarah. I love SarahJ.com. Respect. Shout out to you right there. I love Sara Jay, SarahJ.com. We got some Sara Jay lighters,
Yes.
sick.
Got a pin.
Some wristbands, a pen.
Is that a towel?
You can't
Yep.
correct,
I love
Sarah.
it.
Thank you.
I come
Yes.
bearing gifts.
I got to tell you, there is something really gracious and adorable about somebody that shows up to your podcast, to your office, and brings a gift.
Yes.
Of course.
It's
Thank you
adorable.
for inviting me.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming. Literally.
Yes.
Nat, would you hold on to that?
Absolutely.
You can keep the lube if you
Oh,
like.
I got you. Thank you.
We've got about probably 20 minutes left. I know we're going crazy over here. We got super chats. We got more questions. Are we going to make a phone call? Are we actually going to do this? We attempt to do this?
I don't.
How are the
think we
super
should.
chats looking?
Super chats. We only have this super chat up here. If you want to
Okay.
read it, let me see if I can pull it up.
Anthony Graham says, women want experienced men. So how do men get more experience? What does that say? More experience. Does one break through if no woman will want you? How can we move that? Or maybe you can read on your phone.
So how can an inexperienced man get experience?
I think that's essentially what he's
fully
asking.
get that.
Anthony, thank you for the question. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Do
you
you
want
want
me
to
to
answer
read
it?
it?
Yeah,
It
read
says,
it. Go ahead.
Women want experienced men. So how do men get more experience? Every guy was a virgin at some point. So how does one break through that if no woman will still want you? How do you get your foot in the door?
That's such a great question. And, you might argue with me, feel free, but I'm always like, if you can't find somebody to experiment with that is welcoming to you, like even if, you want a 10 and you might be a 3 and you find somebody it's like a 2 or a 3 and you experiment with them. And if you can't find somebody that is that is less than what you want, I don't want to say your level, but less than what you want. I always suggest a sex worker. Like that's what they're here for, whether it's a stripper and you talk to her all night, you can sit there and buy her, a drink or give her a 50 or whatever and have a little conversation. But you need to practice speaking to women, and you can speak to women online. But this negative attitude and the thought of that you are worthless, that's a self-esteem issue. Okay, so you need to work on yourself and make sure that you feel comfortable about who you are. And if you do that, women will be attracted to you. I hear, especially in that comment, and I hear it in a lot of comments, I'm nobody and I'm just a virgin and I can't talk to women and women don't like me. And the thing is like, work on you.
Yeah.
Work on you. What would make you feel better about yourself? What would make you more attractive to other people is to feel good about who you are. That truth that we live is very important to find that within yourself. And literally the moment you do, people will be attracted to you. Like you're a nerd. You love nerd shit. You go to the Comic-Cons. You have a lightsaber on your bedroom wall. I might have a lightsaber on my bedroom wall. But the thing is that like be who you are and you'll find other people who find that cool. There's going to be some nerd chick out there that's going to be like, oh man, that's the dopest lightsaber I've ever seen, you know? And like when you live your truth and you are comfortable with who you are, people will be attracted to you.
Yeah. Confidence, competence leads to confidence, right? So when you start being good at something, you'll start to be more confident and you'll start to be like, all right, I can do this. I got this, right? So I always tell the story when I was 26, I was broke as shit and I was sleeping on my friend's couch. When I was 36, I was a millionaire. So what did I do in those 10 years? I didn't just start making millions. I started making cold calls, okay? I started making cold calls. We had a question last week of what do you recommend for cold calls? And I gave the marble story, right? But now I'll tell people, like I'll do, like for instance, I deal with life insurance, right? Well, the investment side of life insurance. I'll buy a policy or work on a policy as low as $100,000, and I'll work on a life insurance policy as much as $100 million. But I want you to call me when you have an opportunity, and I'll take it. So when I was young and I was starting out, I would take any opportunity just to get better. So to use your analogy is like, yeah, I want that $100 million deal. I want that woman who's a 10. But if all I'm going to get is a 3 right now,
work her.
Because I'm a 3, let me bang the shit out of that 3 deal.
Practice.
Let me make as much money on that deal as possible on that 3.
What's even cooler?
And get better and get competence and confidence.
To add to that, and what's even cooler about banging the 3
I was
is
talking
that-
about banging that deal out, but you're
right. But what's cool about banging the 3 is that you don't really care. So like you're like you can make mistakes. You can say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And see if it
100%.
works. Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. You're like you throw in stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. You're like
Yeah. So when that 10 or that big deal comes around, you're not like, oh, what do I do? You're like, listen, I've been taking 3s down all my life. I'm excited.
I'm a 3
this 10
king.
opportunity.
I'm a 3 king.
Boom, 3,
Yeah.
3.
Add them up and it racks
Add 'em
up.
That's like we met a kid the other day. He's like, I'm dating this girl and I'm dating this girl and I'm the man. I'm like, buddy, 2 5s don't make it 10, homie. So anyway.
But 2
yes.
5s could make it 10 in the future.
Double high five for Sarah.
that.
But that's great advice. So thank you, Anthony, for your question. But you got to start somewhere. No matter where you're in. I get this question all the time. I want to start a podcast. I want to do stuff on social media. I want to start a business. What do you recommend? It's like, just get started.
Absolutely.
Just get started. I want to
do
marry
it.
a supermodel. I've never had sex before. Go bang a 3.
Yeah?
Like, just get started and work your way up.
You know that girl that always smiles at you when you buy your Black and Milds at the gas station?
Of course. I love that girl.
You know what? Be like, hey, what are you doing on Saturday? Like just throw it out there. Yeah, throw it out there.
Yeah.
You gotta shoot your shot, even if it's to like 3s and 2s as opposed to 10s and 8s and 9s, like you want.
I love the fact that you just said you got to shoot your shot. I'm going to ask you what you think the best pickup line is. But even like everyone gets intimidated by a pretty girl. Okay, if there's a pretty girl and you're like, oh, well, should I go talk to her? I don't know. And like, you're like, even like a guy, I'm not trying to be like toot my own horn, but like a guy who's like got money, got success, got status, I still am like, should I do it? Should I not? I don't know, whatever. And ultimately, I always do it and just end up saying yes and just shooting my shot because I've been rejected more times than like, but that's what happens. And if she's just like, hey, I'm busy, I got a boyfriend, cool. But oftentimes they'll be like, oh, hey, what's up? And then there's banter going on.
Yeah.
You got to shoot your shot.
Absolutely.
The worst thing that happens is she's like, yo, I'm good. You're like, cool, I'm going to keep it moving.
Absolutely.
So shoot your shot.
Definitely shoot your shot. And don't be mad when just keep it moving. Like shoot your shot and keep it moving.
100%.
That's a big part of the thing that I come across is like, guys will shoot their shot when you're like, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Then they get mad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Nasty
just keep
too.
keep it moving. Keep
That-
it moving. Go shoot your shot somewhere else. That means I just freed you up to go to the next girl and shoot your shot over there.
Yeah.
Sarah,
Yeah.
let me speak to that for a second because I don't care if you're just 21 and you're a virgin, you're starting out, or you're 40 and successful and a pimp. It's everyone has those butterflies when approaching a pretty girl, okay? And you never know what the answer is going to be. Oh, hey, I'm friendly. No, I'm good. Like your response when they say yes, you have dialogue. But when they say no, your response is a true tell of who you are.
Yes.
When they say, yo, I'm good, don't be that dude that's like, well, fuck you, bitch. Like that.
Or
that's
come on,
loser
come
mentality.
on. Yeah, no.
If they say, hey, listen, I'm good, you just say, well, listen, I just thought you were beautiful. I want to say hi. I'll keep it moving. And you just keep it moving the other way. And all of a sudden that girl's going to be like,
It's so true. They're like, wait,
what just happened?
that was nice.
Yeah.
We can talk a little more.
You know what?
Exactly.
The way you
True.
handle yourself, that was really cute.
Yes.
Like that's the way I think
It's
it
so
And
might
I've
true.
interviewed a lot of women, especially at this event called Model Volleyball down there. And I say, what percentage of times when you say, sorry, I have a boyfriend, are you telling the truth? Okay. And the answers varied. But the most common answer was 50-50.
Okay.
Meaning there's a 50% she's lying. I have a boyfriend. Sorry.
True.
It's just I have a boyfriend. I'm good. I have a boyfriend. So half the time that a girl says I have a boyfriend, I'm like, do you have a boyfriend? But here's what a guarantee is. If you're like, well, fuck you, bitch. You ain't even that hot anyway. That vibe, there's a 100% chance you are never going to talk to that girl
Ever.
again.
Yeah.
But if you're like, well, listen, you're beautiful. Your boyfriend's a lucky guy. Have a great day.
Yeah.
If
That
she
just
doesn't
made my
have,
panties like wet right
Boom.
there. I was just like,
Boom,
boom,
bam, bam.
You
boom,
know what?
boom, boom.
I think I lost my boyfriend already. And
Got deleted.
Exactly.
yeah.
Because let's say you're at a
Yeah.
Publix, you're at a shopping plaza or whatever, and she's buying milk and you're buying eggs, and it's like, oh great, I don't know, 2% milk. I don't know if that, whatever. Hey, thanks. I've got a boyfriend. Okay, cool. You're gorgeous. Just be mindful of that. You're gonna see her about 4 aisles later,
Literally.
and then she's gonna be like the
You're
milk guy,
sweet.
the eggs guy, whatever.
Yeah.
You're actually, I gotta be honest with
Or-
you. I don't have a boyfriend. Boom. You're
3
in.
months from now, because y'all live in the same neighborhood because you're shopping, obviously, her boyfriend's already got caught cheating. She sees you at the gas station. She's pumping gas, and she's like, "Oh, hey, remember I saw you at the grocery store?
And you were nice. Yes.
Yeah. She's like, I just wanted to say hi because
Yes.
remember me?
There's
and you're like,
basically-
oh yeah, I remember you. And she's
You're right,
like,
Sarah.
yeah. So you, especially when you're dealing with people that live in your area, you're gonna
100%.
reconnect possibly. Like,
Because at the end of the day, Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, it all comes down to ego. When you get rejected, your ego gets so
crushed.
like crushed. You're like, oh,
mine
I'm not-
does too. And I don't think I don't get rejected. I get rejected
Yes.
too. Like, I shoot my shots. I get rejected sometimes. It's okay.
Wow, you
Just
keep
keep
it moving,
moving.
keep
Yeah.
it grooving.
Yep.
Yeah, so word to the young men out there, shoot your shot. If you get rejected, it's almost like a what is it, like a Venn diagram, whatever it's called. Like if this, then do this. If this, whatever that's called. Like a flow chart.
Yeah,
I think it's called a flow chart.
Yeah.
Okay, number one. Should I approach the girl? Yes or no?
Always.
All right, if the answer is no, then you just go home alone. If the answer is yes, great. You shoot your shot. All right, cool. She responds with, hey, I'm good. Should you act like a dick and call her ugly? Or give her a compliment and say, hey, you're beautiful. Maybe next time. Don't do the negative. Say the positive. All right, keep it moving. Now it's like the flow charts keeps going down. It's basically lending you a direction of just be a gentleman, give compliments, and good things will happen to you. And you, at the same time, this isn't a reflection of you, okay? Or maybe it is. I don't know. But be positive. Don't be negative. Don't talk shit to girls. Did I sum that up okay?
You definitely summed it up. It's one of those things where you don't even know what that girl has been going through today. Like, maybe she's just blowing you off because she don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Like, she's had a shit fuck day and she's like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
100%. So you're like, oh, no problem. Next time.
And the
And next time
hotter
is
the
tomorrow.
girl, the more times she's been approached. You're gonna have to
That's
go up and
true.
approach. The hotter the girl, you're gonna definitely have to go up
Right.
and approach. Hot girls aren't just going up to dudes and being like, "So I saw you in the milk aisle." Like, doesn't
Yeah.
happen. You're gonna have to
Okay.
go out there.
So, I'm not
same
gonna-
with sales, by the way. I'm always gonna circle back to sales because I made my money in sales. The bigger the account, the bigger the situation, the more you're gonna have to be like, hey, how you doing? Versus, they're not going to be calling you. So
Yeah.
sales can be, whether it's business, whether it's women, everything is sales. And the way that you handle rejection and no's is a telltale sign of how your success will be. I tell this story all the time. I'm doing business with people now who hung up on me 100 times 15 years ago. And we're doing mega $1 million deals now. Because I said, hey, I was like, fuck you. I don't want your business anyway. Like, I was like, hey, I got you. Respect. You know what? Do you mind if I call you in 6 months to see where you're at? No problem. Respect. And then 10 years later, we're doing business.
Yeah.
But that's if you play the long game. Anyway.
I've had
don't
the
be too
exact same
thirsty.
thing happen to
Yeah.
me in my business, where companies don't hire me. And then after I become a famous porn star, they're like, hey,
How you doing?
how you doing?
Yeah.
And you have that moment where you're like,
I don't like.
I
your
really
eyes.
want to be petty. But you know what? I'm doing wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you for contacting me.
Thank you for your services.
Yeah. So like, you
it's
have to
because
swallow
they had
your
to,
pride.
they had to swallow their pride
Yeah.
for that. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, you have to swallow your pride to respond
Yeah.
too. You're like, look at you calling me.
Nice. Let's go to a couple more questions.
Okay.
Are we going to do a call into? If you want us to call, if you
we
have
need
a question,
good super chat, like a big
if you
super
have a
chat.
question,
If you really want us
write
to
it
call
in the
you.
chat. We're going to need to have your number. So you're going to have to put your number in the chat. We're going to find out if people actually want us to call and speak to them. But put that, if you do a super chat, we will call you. We're going to do one call today. Flau says, Adam is 100% right, and older, wiser, successful guys will agree. 100%.
Awesome. Do you want me to do a question on here we have? Shall I do one on here?
Let me see what we have here. Let me see what we got here.
I think I like this one.
What's that one?
Relationship, the first one.
Go ahead.
Top 3 qualities in a woman that make men want to commit, besides looks. And for ladies, the top 3 qualities in a man. This is from Savannah.
Top 3
Leona.
qualities that'll make you commit. I'll let the lady go first. Top 3 qualities that will make you commit to a man.
Make you commit.
Okay, first thing I think of right away is humor. I need somebody to like lighten the mood, you know? I need somebody to, when I am stressed out, that's what I need is I need somebody to pull me out of that stress zone and be like, babe, it's not that serious. Let's go do this or walk through that. You know, somebody who can bring like levity to the situation is very important to me because like I'm the type of person I get like all in my head and I need to be pulled out of that. So like basically mental, emotional support, whatever you need mentally, emotionally. Me personally, I need somebody to bring a little humor to the table. Somebody who is motivated, self-motivated, doesn't need to be kicked in the ass all the time to get something done. Somebody who's got their, own shit going on. That's very important to me because I have my own stuff going on. I am a very busy person, and if I'm gonna be around someone else or have them considered as a partner, I need them to have their own shit going on and not just like piggy tail off my shit, Super important. And that goes like personally and business wise. I need you to have your own friends. I need you to have your own life and to like have your own mindset. So that way we have something to talk about. Like if we're just like one unit that's all combined and mushy, then boring. Yeah, it's boring to me. Yeah, I think that when you share lives and cohabitate, that's much more interesting to me than somebody who is just like, there to make what you're doing easier. I see those type of relationships a lot in the industry where it's like the woman has her career and she's doing her thing and then her husband is her support, and that can work for a lot of people, but I need the other person that I'm dealing with to like have their own shit. Like, you're an insurance agent and you're the best in your thing. And we go to your little insurance conventions.
My little thing?
Yeah, we go to your little insurance conventions and then we go to my little porn conventions. And like I wear the little insurance outfit.
The insurance and porn convention.
Right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we have a sense of humor. Yeah. We have ambition.
Ambition, motivation, and, just independence pretty much. I need affection, it doesn't necessarily have to be like all the time or like PDA, but, I'm an adult star. I'm a woman who a lot of men desire to be around. I need to know that my man also desires to be around me. Don't just assume that because I know that I'm a wanted woman that my man is, I need that to, I need you to hold my hand. I need you to kind of like own me slightly, like this is my lady and be proud of me. Yeah.
That feels good. Nat, what are your top 3 things in a man? Before I go, what I'm looking for in a woman, what are you looking for? There's a lot of nice comments about you out there, but so I think a lot of the comments are mostly nice. What are the top 3 things you're looking for in a man?
Top 3 things I'm looking for in a man. First is like good values and principles. That's important for me. I grew up like with that and like guided by that, so that's really important for me. And discipline. And confidence is also really important to me. Humor is important because that is like the personality. That's like a personality, but I think that's like your like intro, like that you can determine that like at the beginning. And then I think another important thing would be family values. What would be another thing that's important? Discipline, ambition. That's also very important for me. I don't know. I think it's just...
She's got a long list.
I got a long list. But I think those are like, for me, the most important one is like the values and principles. I think that can be like broken up. But I think that's really important. And just like, I guess like, their confidence, their discipline, ambition, family values.
Well, I think what if I can give game, before I give my answer, if I can give game to the gentleman out there, a woman typically has a way longer list than a guy does.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay? A woman has, he needs to have this, he needs to be making this amount of money, he needs to be this height, he needs to have these types of values.
That's also obvious.
Of course, he needs to be ambition, he needs to be funny, he needs to be so if you're a guy out there, you need to be realizing what very beautiful, successful women are basically saying is there's a laundry list that you need to check as a man for a woman to take you seriously. And the more successful a girl gets, the more that her hypergamy kicks in, and basically
she wants more.
The more that she wants out of you. For a guy, it's pretty simple. Most guys want a pretty woman who is loyal and is, I'm not going to use the word compliant, but basically is willing to listen. And the man is typically the leader of the relationship. The woman is basically the CFO to the CEO, right? We're not going to say secondary to that. But the older I get, the more I appreciate a woman who wants to be a mom. Okay? Because I definitely want to. Now, like when I was 30, I would give you a different answer now that I'm 40, right? 41. My answers have changed because my outlook on life has changed. If when I was 30, I'd be like, bro, she needs to be fucking hot, dude. She needs to be making money because I don't want to pay all the fucking bills.
Ew.
And like that was my mindset when I was 30. Now, any guy will tell you that they need to be attracted to a woman. I'm sure, did the person say that with other than looks?
Yeah, besides looks, yeah.
But I think now that we've interviewed so many housewives and even feminists,
Right.
something that you remember Rebecca a week ago,
Barrett.
when I said she was like a
We love you.
staunch feminist who's turned into a housewife. She's turned her role around, and now she has a YouTube channel that's doing very well. Rebecca Barrett, check her out. But it was very memorable what she did. I was like, "What's the best thing about being married?" You remember what she did? She's like,
Yeah.
"It's just so relaxing. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
I've got a guy and who can take care of me." And for a guy to see a woman have that reaction, like that's what you want out of your wife. A woman who's just like, I'm so freaking happy I'm married. I'm so freaking happy I've got my guy. I'm so freaking happy that I can be a mother. That is something that as I've matured is something that resonates with me more, okay? Because no matter where you're at in life, if you're going to be with somebody long term, they're going to get old, their boobs are going to sag, they're going to have wrinkles. Like that's going to happen, right? You obviously want to be attracted to your woman, but the most important thing is if you're going to get married is having kids. I got into a lot of heat where I said, who the fuck wants to get married and not have kids? It's like just date.
Yeah.
Okay? But I think that's very for young men out there. I get it. You want a hot chick with a fat ass, and we got one of the fattest asses in the business right here. I get it. Sex, this, that, the other. But as you get older, you realize how important a good mom and a good wife can be to your kids, and someone to support you. Like how you said that you want to come home from work and just have someone who's easygoing and have a good sense of humor. Same thing kind of wants to go. I don't need a girl who's doing stand-up comedy or anything like that. Shout out to Amber. She's great. But like at the same time, you just want to, I don't need any headaches. I got a long day. I got multiple businesses going on.
Make life easier.
Make life easier.
Assets
Complement
over
my life.
liabilities.
Assets
So
over
your
liabilities.
top three are?
The femininity.
Okay.
Like wanting to be a mother, wanting to be a great wife, and
Caretaker.
appreciating that. Caretaker. Like I don't need you to pay the bills. Like again, when I was 30, I would probably be like, "Yo, I'm hustling. I need money. I can't be paying your bills."
There's no wrong
Now that I'm
answers
40,
here.
No.
Like it would evolve.
But I think that is the answer: is that your answers will evolve throughout life,
Yeah.
especially the more success and status that you have as a man. Like for instance, I vividly remember when I was starting my financial career, and I started off as a cold caller, and it was up in Boca, where Boca is, and it's like kind of like milfy housewife land over there. I'm like, look at all these chicks just doing nothing at 10 a.m. Like they're not going nowhere. They're just walking around in their yoga pants. And I'm like, these lazy, and now as that I'm older, I'm like, no, they're probably mothers. They're probably wives. Their husbands want them looking good, want them exercising, want them at that home taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
So my thought process has evolved of, oh, you're just like, it's like a housewife doing nothing to, oh, like you're taking care of a family. So that has evolved. So.
And yourself and your man and probably a lot of other people in your life.
You go, girl. All right, we're wrapping this thing up. Let's try to make a phone call. If someone wants us to call, you're going to have, I see a lot of comments. I see a lot of chats. I don't see any phone numbers. So if you want us to give a call, put your name and number into the super chat or into the comments. We'll try to call you. But at the same time, what we're learning is probably not a lot of people want to put their number on the internet.
Yes.
That's that. So we'll figure that out. Let's do another question for Sarah.
Okay.
And we'll wrap this bad boy up.
The Sarah question. I think I may be in your cards. I mixed our cards.
Here's what I want to ask.
Oh, here it is. Okay, go ahead. You ask it.
Okay, I want to ask Sarah, this, when you started making money, okay,
good
right?
question.
So when you started making money, what's the first major big purchase that you
Made.
did? Yeah, exactly. Like, where did you do?
Did you invest it? Did you buy a bag? What'd you do?
That's a very interesting question because about my teeth. Like,
Really?
yeah. Like, I invested money back into myself, I bought my boobs. That was probably the first. And then the second thing was my teeth, because this is how I make my money. And so you reinvest your money into your business in order to make your, I mean, that's what
Great
it is.
perspective right there.
That's so true.
Why my teeth weren't bad, they were just crowded and ugly. So it's like, why would I get those fixed unless it's going to add to my bottom line,
Right.
my breast was a very proud thing. I saved up $20 a day until I had enough money for my breasts. Yeah.
How much did it cost?
They were very cheap. They were
does
very
that
cheap.
mean?
I
What's
paid in 2000, I paid $3,000 for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the going rate for breasts these days?
I think it's closer to like 6.
It is.
Maybe.
I think it's like
Yeah.
6. something.
Yeah, ish.
Can you just buy one and put the other one
Right,
later?
later.
I don't know how that works.
But so it was something to reinvest into myself
Yeah.
to make more money for myself. I reinvest a lot of my money.
No, I love how
honestly.
you're you're equating your body and your looks to your business.
Well, that's
It
what
is.
it is.
100%,
Yeah,
exactly. So-
I am the product.
Wow, a
Yeah.
lot of I had to learn the same thing when I went from making like nothing to a lot of money. I had to say, all right, what do I want to do? Because I'm like what I call like a minimalist millionaire. Like I'm not blingy. I don't do it. Like I don't have a car. Like I just Uber everywhere. I'm very
Yeah,
basic.
I don't have a car either.
Very
Yeah.
basic.
I have one.
Yeah, she's rolling her range. She's good. But reinvesting in the business is something that I always did.
Yep.
And no matter whether you're a porn star, whether you're running a financial firm, whether you're running a pizza shop, whether you're running Valuetainment, Pat talked about this the other day. Any money he makes, he just reinvests into the business. And that's how you will be able to monetize your brand even more and make more money. So you didn't buy, so there was nothing material you bought. You invested on the inside.
No, yeah. I'm not like you said, a minimalist, right? I'm not a designer label kind of girl. Like I don't have a lot of desires for expensive, fancy things, to be honest with you. I'm very simple. And I like experiences, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, experiences are great. Like I decided a couple of years ago that every year on my birthday, I'm taking all my friends on vacation. Like that's more important to me.
Wow.
Like, let's do that. Yeah.
You're
So,
treating all your friends to a vacation?
they pay for airfare and I take care of the rest of it. Yeah.
Really? Where do
Yeah.
you guys go? What do you guys do?
This year, well, my birthday's coming up. I just planned this week. We're going to Costa Rica.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I want to do. And I want my people to come with me.
So you
know?
pay for the house, you're saying?
Yeah. You take care of the house, the food, like whatever.
Wow. You just say, hey, get there and I got the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, I want to be Sarah's
Nice.
friend.
Me too. Let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the kind of stuff that I would like to spend my money on, because
Yeah.
you don't want to go to Costa Rica by yourself,
Right.
And I don't want to go with like one person. I want to go with all my friends.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
more important to me.
I want to go with all my friends.
Yeah, that's more important to me than having a Land Rover.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you got one more thing? What do you have for Sarah?
Let me see.
I want to know the first time that you got recognized in the street.
Yeah. I think that was a good
Okay,
one.
so there's two things there.
And then I
First
wanna
time you
know
got recognized by a fan, and the first time that like someone you know
recognize
whether it's a friend or a family, and they're like,
family.
Sarah. Give us those two answers.
So the first time that I got recognized in the street, I have to like add internationally, because I don't remember the first time I got recognized in the street, just period. But when I got recognized overseas, that was like a moment. I was like, oh, what just happened? I was in Amsterdam. I was in a pedicab. And I love pedicabs, bicycle taxis, right?
Yeah.
And I just got in the pedicab and I was like, take me around. Because as a single traveler, it's a very safe way to travel and you can kind of see everything. You're on the ground. So I'm like, yeah, take me around. And we stop at a stop sign or a stoplight or whatever. And somebody starts screaming my name and like running towards the pedicab. And the pedicab driver was like, oh, do they know you? And I was like, keep going. Keep going. Yeah, I was like so nervous. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? I was like, people know me over here? How is this possible? So it was a really exciting moment for me because that meant that like my work had crossed oceans, you know, like, and the internet was still like in its infancy at that time. So that was still like an interesting concept, you know, like how my porno VHS tape got over there, you know?
VHS tape. That's before your day now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the first time that a friend or family recognized you, what was that?
Right. You know, I never had any, I guess I had a couple people from like grade school email me back in the day and they were like, oh, wow, it's so great to like, you know, see you're doing your thing. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But the one that really stuck was when I went back home after I had been in porn for maybe like 3 or 4 years. And, you know, people were watching my VHS tapes and stuff, right? And I ran into some guys that I messed with in high school, and they're like, yo, I tell everybody we dated. And I'm like, that's cool. You can do that. I'll give you permission to do that. But, you know, I just sucked your dick. Like, I don't really know if we call that a date. But if you want to call it a date, I'm going to give you that. If that makes you feel better that you dated a porn star, yes, you did. You dated a porn star. So, you know, I don't have a lot of contact with people in my past, but when I have, it's been a mixed bag. Like some people don't want to talk to me at all, and they're just like, whatever. They don't understand, and we don't, obviously, if they're not reaching out, you know, we don't have anything in common. Yeah. But then there's other people from my past that think it's like so cool. Like, oh, that's so cool. You do porn. Yeah. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nat, you got a lot of love at the Vault. People are recognizing you.
I know, super cool. I think it's a nice way to connect with the world without physically being there. It kind of like shows you that you have a power that you can impact a lot of different people around the world, and it kind of makes you revisit like, how do I want to spread a message, or how do I want to continue to expand. But it's really nice to like get recognized, you know, for not just like even your looks. You know, sometimes everyone's just so caught up on looks. Some people like value the things you say or the things you stand by. Or I think today people got to know you a little bit more on like a personal level, even like your politics. You know, like I think people get to really connect with you in that area. So I think it's cool. I like to meet people like that. Like, oh, do you know that? I'm like, yeah, that's me. So, but it's just, we're just getting started. So it's like, you know, do you get recognized?
Well, I remember. Well, yeah. Now it happens
often.
You know, for sure, but especially at like types of vaults. But I'll never forget 2 stories, and we'll wrap it. So basically, when I first started like doing my show, so I have a slogan: "Save that money." That's like, I mean, hello. So I remember being in South Beach. This is even before I was in Valuetainment. Oh. And I was in line at a club to get at the bar, right, to get a drink. And I'm with a girl, we're hanging out, whatever, you know, I'm in line with a bartender. And the bartender goes, what are you having, bud? I'm like, oh, I'll do a Crown Splash of Diet, right? He's like, all right, here you go, man. And I go to pay. He goes, hey, all good. Save that money. No! I go, oh!
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
He got me good.
Nice.
And that was in Miami. That was in Miami. So like, all right, local Miami, it's all good.
That's still cool.
And then Pat, one time, Pat was like, dude, you understand, you're going to start getting recognized. I mean, our videos get, they're out there, much like yours. And he's like, I'm like, I don't know, you know, internet is a crazy thing. You never know.
Yes.
And I'm in Venice Beach, and this guy's on a bicycle, and he's like kind of riding towards me, and I'm like kind of getting out of his way, and he's looking at me like I know him, and I know people in LA. I'm like, I don't know this guy, and I like move out of the way. He's like looking at me, and I'm like, yo, trying to get out of the way, and he goes, yo, PBD podcast, bro, what's up? And I'm like, so
nice.
Things are out there, but anyway, it feels good to do that.
Nice.
Sarah, what we do here at the end of the show is we have something called the happy ending. Yes. So the happy ending is where we give you the opportunity to basically say what you want to be known for. Okay. So Sarah, you've dropped a lot of knowledge today. You've been very gracious with your gifts, and you've been a great sport. So from Sara Jay, you have a lot of people watching right there. What do you want to be known for? What do people you want to take from, you know, your success that you've had in life? What do you want to tell the people? Go ahead.
I guess what I would want to be known for is primarily like helping people through their sexuality and exploring their sexuality, whether it's the overweight mom of 3 who just doesn't feel like she looks sexy anymore and she sees the cellulite in my ass and it makes her feel better, or whether it's the virgin who has never had sex with a woman and he hears the words I'm saying today and it makes him feel better. I like to make people feel good, and I want to be known for making people feel good. That's very important to me. Like, that's my light that I bring to the world. We all bring our own light, and that's my light that I bring.
That's awesome. That's quite the happy ending from Sara Jay, the one and only Sara Jay. Happy ending.
One
Nat,
and only.
final words, final thoughts. Wrap it up. Tell the people what to do before I send us out.
Final words. I think this was a phenomenal podcast. I really enjoyed it. I think it was great to have someone like you come on, and maybe you don't feel this through the camera, but you get to feel like the genuine person you are, like the authentic person. Sometimes we see TV personalities and we think like, oh, they're like this and, they do this. And when you really get to sit down and get to know somebody, it really makes you reevaluate before you start judging people. So I thought it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed having you on the Soscast today. And I think a closing message for everybody is be open to hearing different opinions, especially from people that you already judged. Be open to getting to know people, because at the end of the day, you don't know what people went through to make the decisions that they did. Sometimes you look at someone, you're like, damn, why would they do that? And you're like, wait, how did they get there? So, just be open to hearing a perspective, and be ready for the more guests we're going to have on and the exciting things we have coming. And of course, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you want to have Miss Sara Jay come back. I think we should have her back.
She's in Miami.
Right?
She can make it back
here.
here.
Miami, so
I'm a local.
Back. And I enjoyed it, and that's pretty much close.
Yeah, I think you summed it up.
And get your Manscaped items.
Oh,
get your
Manscaped.
Manscaped items. Yeah, Sara Jay's approves.
Well, I think I've learned a lot since coming to Valuetainment. I think I've grown. I've been doing this. I've known Pat, who's our CEO founder, for 10 years. We're here for almost 3 years now. And I think at the end of the day, we talked about this when we talked about politics, right? And we talked about it when we were talking about comments and negativity and what's out there, and having thick skin and like shit, people that talk shit at these days. I've definitely learned, whether it's you or Lisa Ann's been here, Nikki Benz, is like, these people are actually very smart in person. Like, they're not idiots whatsoever. Yes. And when you judge a book by its cover, you're only like,
you miss it. It's so unfortunate.
You're missing the knowledge that someone has. And, one of the first interviews I ever did at Valuetainment was I interviewed this guy called Daryl Davis. Okay. This guy is a black guy, a black musician, who goes around playing music, doing his thing, and he plays a lot of stuff. He's a jazz musician, plays a lot of stuff in the South, and he meets, greets, and befriends KKK members.
Right.
Okay, have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
And he says, listen, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm dealing with, as a black man in the South who I'm dealing with KKK members, I always treat people with respect. And I go, really? How the hell do you show respect to racist KKK members? He's like, dude, they don't know any better.
Yeah.
They've been taught this. They've been indoctrinated this. They don't know any better. But all I can do is be the best person I can be when I meet them and set a good example. And what will happen is something will go off in their mind to say, man, I've always been told that these black guys ain't shit, or there's not smarter than me, or whatever it is. And if I'm like a gentleman and I buy them a beer and I treat them with respect, something needs to happen in their mind to say, well, maybe I've had it all wrong all the time.
Yeah.
So like, somebody's probably watching this saying, well, these fucking porn stars. And she's like, wow, actually, Sara Jay was mad cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Smart.
So, this isn't like a motivational speech. I'm not trying to be Tony Robbins or anything like that. But if you're willing to just treat people with respect, keep an open mind, even if you disagree with them, you're going to realize that we all have more in common than we have differences, especially politically, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got from this podcast, is that if you treat people with respect and you're willing to at least listen to them and hear them out, you're going to realize they're not that bad. They actually probably have some good advice. Yeah. And that's that. Other than that, experience. We, as we said at the beginning, we do this show for you guys out there. Fridays, we're answering your questions. We're getting your feedback. We want to help you guys improve. your status in life, whether that's financially, what's at the sexual marketplace, so you can win, get paid, laid, and do it your way. And we certainly learned a lot about that with Sara Jay today. Yes. That's it. Thank you for tuning into the Soscast. We'll be back next Thursday and Friday, as always.
Turn your bell on.
We'll turn your bell on.
Like the video.
We'll see you guys next time, next week. We out. Save that money. Peace.
Friday.